Hey everybody, I love working with millennials. Have you ever struggled to work with millennials? It's a challenge for lots of us. So today, what am I working on? I'm working on talking about millennials and engaging them. I do a lot of work with there, but I'm also here with Fatima Zaidi, who is the VP at 88 Agency, and she's an awesome person. So say hi, everybody.
Hi everyone.
So we're going to talk a bit about millennials and how to engage them better in terms of marketing. So maybe I'll let you get started in terms of sharing some insights there, and then if people have questions, you can post below, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. So why don't you go ahead and start?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are 5 key things the millennials really value in the workplace. The first is we're digital and mobile everything first. And that basically means we have this expectation of tech working effortlessly. We're very, very online savvy. We're very social media savvy. Yeah. We are very tech savvy. And we've moved away from a paperless environment and are using digital tools to connect, whether that be virtual reality, Skype, Google Chats, Slack, and in general are using tech to become more productive. Right. So that would be number 1.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah,
this is gold.
I would say that the second thing would definitely be there's a big emphasis of social media and online community and workplace culture. For us, it's not just about coming in and doing your 9 to 5 and clocking in and out, but workplace culture matters a lot to us, and we also want access to our social channels during working hours. Flexibility would be number 3. All millennials, well, I wouldn't say all, but most millennials have a ton of side hustles and passion projects on the side, whether they're working on their side business or whether it's speaking at events or, volunteering, community involvement. And I think companies that insist on having FaceTime and the, rigid 9 to 5 schedule, they're gonna have a hard time attracting top millennial talent. You really need to have the work from home, flex work policies, and really just sort of send that message that you trust your employees and don't need that FaceTime to trust them. The 4th, what are we at right now? 3?
That's 3.
Yeah, okay. So number 4 would be personal development and education. We're constantly wanting to upgrade our skills and train. So if you're working with a millennial workforce, it's really important to have some sort of an education personal development budget where they can take courses and, generally just keep growing in their skill set. It's not also just about having our annual review for the sake of a performance review. We want our reviews to be tailored to internal growth, and we want to see how our managers are going to help us get there. And I would say the last thing, and one of my most important things, is feedback. We constantly want 360 feedback. It's not just about our being subordination and our managers giving us feedback, but it's like we want it to be 360, and we want to be in a very inclusive workplace culture.
And I can tell you that working with many millennials with all my work with DYPB and Real, my company, and having interns and team members, feedback, they love feedback. And sometimes I don't want to give too much feedback because I don't want to tell them how to do their job, but sometimes they really like the feedback and they want that direction. So it's important to understand, connecting between what they want and what you want. And this also, and the story this morning, actually, I was talking to a millennial, and she was complaining about Snapchat and her filters, and she was complaining about how her workplace didn't have certain things that flexibility. And so you just nailed some of those things really, really well. In terms of my work, I focus on what I call XYZ. So there's the XY factor, which is bridging Generation X and Generation Y. I'm Gen X, she's Gen Y or Millennial. And so one of the things we focus on is try to understand millennials better, but I think it's also important to help millennials understand Gen X better. And if you can bridge that gap in terms of our values, how we work, how we communicate, just like when you're doing stuff in the workplace where you're looking at different people's personality styles or their leadership styles, it's the exact same thing. Put the time into doing that, and you can actually get way more productivity, way more results, and way more impact and retention, which is what a lot of people want. Now, maybe you can talk a bit about, what are some of the brands out there that are doing marketing millennials well and doing not so well?
Yeah, there's a couple brands that really stand out for me. One would be Lyft, the car sharing app in the US that just launched in Canada. If you haven't downloaded their app, do it now. I think Lyft, has really hit the mark when marketing to this demographic for multiple reasons. One, they're quick, they're tech savvy, easy, convenient, and very affordable. Great ride sharing app. But more importantly, they have a charitable component to their program, which is key because millennials want to feel like they're doing a lot with minimal effort required. They have this program called the Round Up and Donate program where, you have, say, $37.05 is your ride. They'll round up to say $38, and the leftover money is donated to a charity of your choice if you opt in. And that, I think, is definitely key in attracting people like us. They also have a great work culture, which is also great when you're comparing it to their competitors like Uber. That's their unique selling proposition. And that's why people will be more attracted in the long run to companies that have a social component.
Right, the social piece is very important. Now, what about ones that are not doing well that can improve?
Yeah, so I would say Pepsi has really missed the mark in the last few years in terms of marketing to our target audience for multiple reasons. They recently had that Kendall Jenner scandal where they were really trivializing a lot of important issues, and it was just done in poor taste because millennials are very in tune with social movements. And back in 2013, they had the Mountain Dew ad, and there was a lot of hidden racial stereotypes, which caused a lot of backlash and negative publicity within the millennial workforce. So I think they need to do a better job at retaining and attracting top talent, but also in general, it would be any top corporate companies, insurance banks that are stuck in their traditional ways of doing things. People who require FaceTime with their employees, there are no flex hours, a lot of red tape. They're going to have a really hard time. And just because you're corporate doesn't mean that you have to be stuck in your old ways of doing things. Look at companies like TELUS. They don't even have desks for their employees. You come in, you work wherever you want. You don't come in, you work from home, and they're essentially sending the message to their employees that we trust you, and all we care about is performance and results.
That's awesome. Empowerment, autonomy, and things like that. Flexibility is great. And again, there's a lot of challenges people have. If you have questions, put them below. Let us know. Thank you, Fatima, for your time. You're just a great expert at this stuff. I love what you're doing. Just before we go, why don't you tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, I'm the VP of Business Development at a communications agency called 88. We're currently sitting in their boardroom. We do marketing for tech startup companies along with retail, lifestyle, consumer, and we provide services like PR, digital marketing, and design. However, I am a millennial, which means I have a ton of side passion projects, including commentating for BNN and Global News, writing for publications like the Globe and Mail, and speaking at events, and of course, chairing conferences like DYPB, which is Bobby's conference.
Right, so I've been working with Fatima on DYPB, Discover Your Personal Brand, and we're doing some really amazing things coming up. And so personal branding, aligning yourself, creating meaningful impact, that's something millennials really desire, and so we hope to get them because they're a huge group and you cannot ignore them. So thanks so much for this. Really appreciate your time, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.
Bye.